Good evening, my viewers, and welcome back to Marriage Unscripted by me, Wairimu Gashoya. Now, today's topic is another one that is really dear to our hearts: submission. Submission has been taken oftentimes as a topic that has been misunderstood by the society today, and also at the same time, people take it as an outdated version. People have taken it as an oppressive version, and even some take it as respect. Now, today's program, we are unpacking the word submission. Now we need to get to understand exactly what does submission look like. Is it leadership? Is it control? Or is it something else? On stage today, we have a team that is really, really ready to take us through. But before we go deeper, I'd like you to all introduce yourself to our viewers and let them know who we're talking with today. And I'll start with you.
All right. Thank you so much, Wairimu. Good evening, viewers. My name is John Washira, otherwise also known as Brains. I'm married. I have 10 solid months experience in marriage, which counts for everything. And I am blessed to be here, and I hope we'll get blessed together. Amen.
Thank you, Wairimu. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today. And thank you for inviting us. I'm Cynthia Akinyi Konduto. I'm single and also...
Single and searching.
Yeah, right. I'm single and searching. And thank you for allowing us to be here today.
Thank you so much, Janet. I'm Gabriel Nguge, Reverend Gabriel Nguge, a pastor here at Life Celebration Center, and Reverend Elijah Mwangi. I'm married to Gladys, and I have 2 daughters. They are twins. And I've been married for the last 30 years, going to 30 years now.
30?
Yes.
30 mzima.
Mapenzi ya 30.
Interesting. Ni mapenzi ya 30. What Percy is not really telling us he's playing cool is that he is a certified psychologist. And that is going to help us a lot in unpacking submission.
Yes.
So, Percy, as we start off, in your own ways and in your own terms, mapenzi ya 30, what is submission?
Submission is a wide topic. It does not only cover marriage.
All right.
And for institutions, for more than 2 people to come to an agreement or even achieve anything, they don't have to have 2 heads. They don't have to have multiple leaderships. They only need to have direction, which is acceptable to them. And even in the land, we cannot have many heads at a time. Anything that has more than 2 heads is a monster. So we have to have leadership. But then again, we'll be talking about the head as we go on. Yes.
So you're talking it in a broader perspective.
Yes.
Bring it down to us in a marriage setup.
Mm-hmm.
Since we are in marriage unscripted, what is submission?
As you started by introducing the topic today, it is not dominion. It is not is not being dominated. No, because the Bible in the book of that should be John. No, that should be Mark 10:42. The Bible says, and Jesus called them to him and said to them, you know that those who are leaders, considered rulers of the Gentiles, lord it over them. And their great ones exercise authority over them. So it's not an issue of one exercising authority over the other. And when God created us, he said that you have been given dominion, not over the people, dominion over the fish of the sea, the crawling, the animals, and the birds of the air. Mm-hmm. So the dominion that we should have is also to heal. So the one submitting should not be submitting to draconian leadership
What?
oppressive.
Daktari, to our level, back to our level.
Okay, si kimabavu, sio kufinyilia. Hapana, Jesus is saying wale wengine huwa wanatawala kimabavu, wanafinyilia, and no one really was created to give themselves over to that kind of submission, even in marriage. It is that one that is going to bring protection, is going to bring fruitfulness. Yes.
So there's a big muscle on the person that is being submitted. That's what you're saying. Like, for me to submit to you, you also need to understand yourself clearly.
Yes.
That you're not oppressing me.
Yes.
It is a willingly buyer, willingly seller.
Yes. And that is why even a husband is told to love. Yeah. So you cannot oppress someone that you love.
Correct.
When they submit to you, actually the kind of love that a husband should love is one that Christ loved the church, that he gave himself to death.
Fully.
So who cannot submit to a person who is willing to die for them? No one will resist submission to a person that is laying down their lives for them.
Correct.
Yes.
Cynthia, hapo vipi? Single and searching. Submission. What do you feel about it? What do you think it is?
According to me, submission is the act of yielding to the higher authority.
All right.
But in the context of marriage, submission is the act of honoring and affirming the leadership of the husband.
Affirming.
Yes.
All right.
Affirming his leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I've been asked to honor and submit to my husband, he has to have something that will make me submit to him. I cannot just submit to a person who has not shown me that form of leadership in them, or a clear vision in him for me to submit to that particular vision. Yes. So for me as a single person, I'm looking for someone who I'll be able to submit to with ease, not a person who will force me to submit, yet he has not given me something to submit to.
Which might beg me to ask, maybe back to Daktari. Cynthia is talking about, I'm looking for someone whom I can submit to. Can you then bring it to a dating context? I know submission will find proper perspective in marriage. How is it cultivated in a dating setup? Because most young people are there. So how does this man, or rather this boyfriend, groom himself up, to be a candidate worth being submitted to? And what is this girlfriend looking in order to submit to this boyfriend who is not yet a husband?
Okay. Number one, see daktari.
Correction.
Now, our sister here anasema my husband, and it is good kusikia mahali anaenda anasema my husband, angependa a husband that is this way. Yes, there are also green flags na kuna red flags unapoendelea, and some of them are not just red flags. Right. Some are banners, some are so huge that you see na unaona huyu mtu, this one, submitting to this one. Number one, they could be violent. Those are the things that you look. She's talking about what do you look as you date. So you look out for red flags and banners and huge canvases, zile you cannot miss, and they are there. You will have seen them. The problem is, again, maybe this is the way of dating. See, to lead a courtship. Because if you date through the phone, if you date through the videos, if you date through online, that will not. When I'm coming before the camera, I'll make sure that I'm
Well
all
put
fine.
together.
Yes, I'm all put together. But there is this area where I'm in my natural habitat.
Mm-hmm.
How do I look? Maybe that kind of dating will tell you what kind of a person this is. But the virtual one might not bring out the person.
Now, in the context of submission, please paint me a picture of a young boy, a young guy, and a young lady in the courtship dating season. How will it look like for me to see submission?
Or the way you want to see submission already.
Like, sasa unajua the leadership. Mm-hmm. Leadership ikitokea hapo ama ni vile ataambia wait and let up ama
there are many ways.
Okay.
There are, and number one good, very important thing, how they relate with their superiors.
Right.
Number one, how they relate with their authorities over them. Number one, parents.
Mm-hmm.
If a girl relates very wrongly with their dad, their mom, who are you now? They will not ever listen to you. So if they relate well with the parents, and that is authority number one, then that would be good. Again, if they relate well with the with the bosses and all that, the people are in authority over their lives. If you are able to know that, if you're able to see and give it a clean bill of health, a tick, they are relating well, then that could be a good direction. But if they don't care about their own parents, and those are the people that they know are an authority over them, it will be very hard for them now to treat you well. Yes,
Okay.
that is what is coming to mind.
Brains. As he's speaking
Yes.
about relation between the parent and the person of interest. In the today's society, especially in the context of the millennial, najua kuna Gen Z upcoming, but in the context of the millennial, do you think we submitted to the parents or we were oppressed in their rules?
Yes, I am a millennial and a proud one for that matter. I think marriage, growing up, the best script that we could relate to was from home, from how we saw our parents treating each other. And that informed our view on marriage and our view on how we even got to relate with them. And perhaps for the most firstborns, for instance, I don't know if it is a trend, I don't know if it is a coincidence or circumstantial, but most times you'd find most firstborns, they will easily they will easily submit to their parents willingly, and sometimes unapata ile kujiongea was not as much, nimesema hivi na ni hivi, but perhaps them that came after us, they formulated a voice of their own. Perhaps they saw how we related with our parents and they thought maybe I can do different, but in my case, I think it came easy, even with how my parents chose to relate with me. So I didn't struggle. I didn't find a struggle in the area of respecting my parents, save for the ile tu korofi ya ukiendelea kukua. But in a grand scale, looking back, I think it came easier, and my parents really facilitated that with how they treated us and how they treated each other.
So what you're saying is it's easy to look at the young man coming and you'll see the relationship they have with the parent as a good one, to be someone that you can submit to, because at the end of the day, they also submit to a certain authority.
Yeah, I think as Percy has put it, which really is a key thing, and maybe even now as Cynthia looks into it, huyu msee ako na relationship gani na wazazi wake? Because if you cannot submit to your own parents willingly, then there is an issue. And it will not be hard to also find it, as also Percy anasema, in the place of work. So this is someone who has zero regard to authority, and therefore it means even as they come into that headship as the man in authority, then they will also abuse it, because they have not yet harnessed what authority really means, how it looks like, how it is to be used. And if you don't know the purpose for something, then abuse is inevitable. So they will abuse it, and you as the partner, you will become a victim of the same.
You'll be
Yeah.
oppressed.
Yeah.
Cynthia, you have something.
Yes. Just to ask, Percy said that he will look at how the guy or the lady relate with the parents. But in our society today, we don't live with our parents that much.
Close.
Yes, we are not so close with them. You find I go to boarding school. When I finish, I live in a different city from them. So how will I see how they relate with their parents before we start this dating process? And again, in the church setup, it's not easy starting to date. And when I see Percy meets me with a guy like twice or 3 times, he will start asking me, why are you working with this guy? What are your intentions with this guy or this girl? So seeing the character of this person is not easy, because you won't be with them closely enough to observe them.
Cynthia, what do you mean by closely enough?
What I mean is that I'll only know someone when we are close, when we talk more often, when we walk more often, when we discuss more often. But now dating in church becomes a little bit difficult. And it's something that has not yet been talked about.
I see.
Yeah, there is, sure enough, the setting of the life today is quite different.
Okay.
And yeah, we appreciate that.
Yes.
But if this is a person that you're going to live the rest of your life with, you should do every effort to know. There are people who live together, they bear children, and they are not known. Hajui wazazi wake.
Each parent. Mm-hmm.
I think every effort should be done, no matter how much change has come. A person that you're going to live together, share money, share intimacy, share everything, much as the culture is changing, there should be, rather than sometimes have coffee, why don't we travel home? Why don't we see? Why don't I get to know where are you coming from? There should be some efforts. Maybe I should also add that relationships, one successful relationship leads to another or leads to the next.
Leads to the next.
Yes, leads to the next relationship. One failed relationship might lead to another failed relationship. And I'm not talking about the whole household. I'm talking about right from mahali mtu alilelewa. As we do counseling, sometimes we go back to the background of a person, where they came from. They are growing up. Why? Because whatever baggages they are carrying could be the ones that are they're spoiling whatever now relationship they want to build. Mm-hmm. Maybe let's run through a person growing up, yeah? We have a toddler. The moment they are born, the first relationship is the mother. Yes. That's the closest person. Correct. And even their way of feeding, they are fed, very closely, and the young chap is studying the face of the mother very closely, Then the circle expands. They get to hear a deeper voice in the house. They get to know, oh, this is Baba. They get to know the siblings, and then they go to outside in the neighborhood. Those are relationships being built. You know, they are learning to share things. They are learning now that not everything is theirs. Then they go out to school. They spend half a day, or we used to spend 3 hours only in school when we are beginning. These days things are not very right, and it is not very good for a small kid to spend the whole day waking up carrying a huge bag ati anaenda shule. Mtoto wa miaka ngapi? 3. Ati amebebeshwa bag. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. Some problems are starting there. Yeah, sure. So stress zinaanza pale. So wanaenda, then they get to bigger groups. They now go sometimes to boarding schools where now they are on their own. They are learning now to survive on their own or to grow on their own. Then they come to attachment. They go to places of work, and now they get to attach to another person who is not a family member. Those are relationships being built. If some failed relationship happened, they could carry it over to the next relationship. Now, when a person is coming now to attachment and get married, if they had very, very successful relationships, then they can bear this one. And each one of them is supposed to come complete, not to be completed. No. So,
it should be a complete one.
Yes.
If I may, respectfully, unajua tusemagi to add on to what mchungaji amesema, but maybe to share perspective. I think Cynthia mentioned the aspect of dating in a church scene. Yeah, it could have its own dynamic, and I think one of the reasons will be a place of openness. I think sometimes church tunaweza ficha mambo sana. And sisi wenyewe, we might want to hide our relationship, and therefore I think there's a place of accountability whereby as you start dating this person, consider letting your pastor know, consider letting your spiritual authority know. Reason is they will really help demystify some things. They will really help shape some things zenye you don't necessarily need to date for 2 years, then ndio mwanze kuziunravel on the first 3 days, 2 days. Some of these things itakuwa sorted out, and you will realize this is someone I'm willing to spend the rest of my life with, or it ends here.
In the voice of someone I know, I'll ask, what are you saying? Are you saying we immediately find someone and then 2 days we meet, niende kwa Rev?
Yes.
Nimwambie Rev, unajua ni aje?
Yes.
Jamana kama atasema, will you?
Yes.
Are you saying that?
Yes, that's what I'm actually saying, kwa sababu you see, wachungaji wanajua mambo mingi. Wanajua mambo mingi ile hata yenye watu ambiagi. So, aliongea na huyu kijana, alimdisclosea vitu fulani in their own private chambers. So, akona information yenye huyu msichana hana. So it's very easy to begin that mentorship earlier on. We do premarital counseling, and I don't want to say, not even unfortunately, it comes inakuja huko mbele, when you're almost getting married and you start interacting with this, hard truth, hard concept, huko mbele huko, whereby you're like, am I really willing to commit to this one? But you're not talking about someone you met a week ago. You're talking about someone you met 2-3 years ago, but you didn't have either the boldness or the priority of starting these conversations.
Thanks.
But having mchungaji, they will help facilitate these conversations here. Have you considered 1, 2, 3, 4? Have you considered asking about 1, 2, 3 things? Have you considered about children, for instance? It's unfortunate kujua that kumbe mtu ataki watoto 2 years into your dating, something that you could have perhaps known a week.
Right.
Sorry.
We'll hold that a minute. And then go take a cup of tea or a sip of water, whatever you wish. That will be back. Thank you.
TV, empowering you.
Welcome to King's Academy of Deliverance Church Nakuru, where dreams take root and young minds flourish. We are more than a school. We're a nurturing community that believes in every child's potential. At King's Academy, we proudly offer the competence-based curriculum. We empower our students to think critically, solve problems, and embrace creativity. Our holistic approach combines academics, character development, and real-world skills. Join us on this journey of growth. Enroll your child today. Call 0724 554 819 or 0725 498 112 for more information. King's Academy, instructed to influence.
Truth TV, empowering you.
Great. And we're now back. Cynthia, you had something you were saying. You were asking Percy about submission.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been mandated to submit to our husbands.
Correct.
You'll hear me talk of husbands because in the Bible we don't have anything to do with a boyfriend. And we have nothing to do with dating in the Bible. So I look forward to getting my husband. Yes, we will go through the courtship process, but the end goal is husband. So for someone I want to submit to, I believe he has to have the nature of Christ in him. So what if the person I get married to does not display the Christ-like character, that leadership that God put in place, that we have to submit to the leadership of your husband? What if he doesn't display that same character? And yeah, you can answer that as well.
Yeah. Also, thank you so much. First of all, it says submit one to another.
Yes, correct.
So submission is not one way. We are first of all supposed to submit one to another. Mm-hmm. So, and that is why we are going back to where we started by saying it is not lording over another person. It's discussion. It's consensus. It is agreement. You know, a house divided cannot stand. So it will be unfortunate. It's not a good thing where you find that a person is not submitted to God also. Because first of all, a person is supposed to be submitted to God. Now, it will be not so good even for you when the husband loves you more than they love Christ. Because should you decide to be manipulative, then that house falls.
Correct.
So, number one, the man is supposed, the husband is supposed, first of all, to be submitted to Christ fully. Any person that is fully submitted to Christ will give very good and reasonable leadership Okay? So, submission to God, first of all. Then, husband and wife, submission to one another. Then, the wife sees this one, chooses that even though I'm strong, because the other thing is that anyone being told to submit is not a weak person. You don't tell weak people just to submit. They are being told by the Bible to submit because they have their strength. They have their strength of influence. They have the strength of nurturing. They have the strength of multiplying. They have a lot of strength. So, a wife has a lot of strength in her. That is why she's being told to submit. Yeah.
So
the husband,
the power she carries needs to be put somewhere in order.
Needs to be channeled.
Needs to be channeled in a particular way.
Yes.
But I hear what Cynthia is really asking. I hear what she's saying, because there have been people that have been married. They've gone through the dating, they've gone through the courtship, but suddenly, we've had stories of people that are of color, that we've had people that are in the church misusing the authority that they've been given. So at what particular time do we now distinguish between this is someone oppressing me, okay, and this is someone leading me?
Yeah, and I've just remembered something. It is wives that are asked to submit to husband, not women to submit to men. There's a difference. It is a husband. It is a husband that should love his wife like Christ loved the church. Then it is a wife that should submit to one husband, her own husband, who is submitted to Christ. Yeah. I think that is a formula. Yes. But it's not like women submit to men. No, it's not like that. So it means you find yourself in an office and there's a lady. It doesn't mean that she's the one to do the serving of the 10 o'clock tea. Not necessarily. She can do it. Willingly? But it is willingly, yes. Yeah. But it is not like you are the woman around here. The Bible says submit. No. She should submit to her own husband. But akiingia kazini, apewe respect yake like a human being. Okay. Yes.
So at what point do you, now in a marriage setup, at what point do you differentiate being oppressed and your husband leading you?
One thing would be not being listened to. Another thing would be injustice. There is also violence, and not just violence, physical violence, also in words. Then you get to know those are things that will tell you this person is oppressive. And then they just decide and never share, and that they just, it should be shared, even decisions. This is what I'm thinking. I would like us to go this way, and a decision is made. Like if a husband just wakes up and sells the family house and we are moving, well, to some extent is leadership, but are they taking into consideration the adjustment of the family? Maybe that's not right. Yes.
Will you still continue submitting? Or are you obligated to continue
you
the
should
submission?
not get married in the first place to that. And that is why it's so unfortunate. It should start, number one, with what? With being complete. Singleness is a very beautiful time to be complete, to know how do I deal with different relationships. Okay. Yes. That's a beautiful time to be able to be singular, not alone, not in loneliness, but to be able to know I am now complete. I can now get another person, and in our completeness, build an exponential growth. Yeah, 1 shall chase 1,000, 2 shall chase 2,000. No, is it 10,000? Yes. When each one is complete. Not when mwingine ameenda kudandia mwingine in marriage. Hapana. Si ati ameenda kuwa completed na mtu. They should be complete.
So you think there's a problem right from the beginning?
The dating thing.
Zikuchomoka tu.
Hazikuchomoka. Zimekuwako. The danger is that you don't get to know this person. Now, not that you'll know them fully. 30 years later, bado mtazidi kufahamiana. 30 years later. But not the very dangerous things. Yes.
Because 30 years later, in your defenses,
yes.
Kuna evolution may happen.
Yes.
Kuna getting children.
Yes.
Going again back into the emptiness, but let's not digress. Brains, submission. At what particular point do you term submission as a oppression? Or at what particular time do you term it as leadership?
I think in this conversation, we are also looking at what submission is not. Because we look at this is submission, and we're also looking at this is not submission. This is not a husband lovingly leading the wife, and the wife joyfully submitting. And I've loved what mchungaji amesema. Submission is not weakness, because marriage is supposed to display the union between Christ and his church. That my wife and I, we should be preaching to a broken world of who God is. So when we are talking about submission, they remember that sermon that they were told about, is it the church submitting to Christ or Christ submitting to God? Because Christ was not a weak person submitting to God. Like everything that I saw God doing, I did. So I managed that Christ was a weak person, but he submitted willingly and joyfully, to a point he's saying, let it not be my will, but let your will be done. So back to your question, I think I'll just borrow what mchungaji alisema on the aspect of decision, which sometimes we men can be insecure in our position. And I think finding an insecure man could be a very risky thing. Someone who doesn't want to be challenged. Times are changing, and we cannot run away from that fact. Maybe how things were in the times back then and today ni tofauti. Girls are becoming more and more empowered, that it will stop being a conversation, it will now be a norm. And so you're finding saisi msichana wa kumwambia jump, and they ask how high. They will ask, why am I jumping? So if you're not articulate and confident enough to share, then you'll start bleeding on each other. You'll start feeling this person is not respecting me. But as Cynthia I think Cynthia is constantly putting it as there is nothing to submit to, So why do I submit? So akimforce to submit, now it becomes a risky thing, because now I will want to do it not in a manner that I'm leading and you're following willingly, but now I will load it over you. That ni hivi na ni hivi, and I think there is the part of come and let us reason together. And pole pole, kuna ile mambo utasema itakubalika on the first go. I think mchungaji can elaborate more. Na kuna mambo yenye utasema ita take time, inaweza kosa kwenda your way, and I think it is okay. Yeah.
So do you think it is right kusema vitu mara mbili kwa nyumba? Umesema kuna vitu zitaenda hiyo, I'm like, wait, right? Okay.
Yeah, ni vizuri kurudia. What you want, kile unataka kisikike, it's by repetition. Yeah, unafahamu, unarudia many times and you become patient with everyone.
Okay.
Now, I don't know kama bado our sister Cynthia amepata jibu, lakini let's try to continue. Okay. And also picking from where Brains ameachia leadership, hiyo leadership and submission. You see pia character za mtu, a person's character will have told you long before if a person is narcissistic.
Such a big word.
Yes, is a big word. It's a big word. Now, if a person is also using fear to lead you. That's not leadership. And that happens every day, even in families. And any leader that wants to be feared, that's not leadership. They have already lost it, because what happens is that if a person is feared, the next thing that follows is hate.
Yeah.
The Bible says, I think that should be in 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love. There is no fear in love. 1 John 4:18. But perfect love casts out fear. So, Cynthia, if you see a guy and you are fearing, chances are you don't love them. And there is something that is causing you to not to love. As it continues to say, for fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected in love. 19 says, we love because he first loved us. Okay? So, even let's take the leadership of nations, not our nation only, but nations. What do? They instill fear into the people.
Correct.
They divide people in tribes so that people will start fearing one another, so that they can, and also they hate one another. So that as they hate one another, they will not be able to speak as a block. They'll be able now to be influenced by whatever voice now that comes. That is what happens all over the world. Most leaderships, they and demons also feed on fear of the masses. Yeah. Yes, so that should not happen in a home between a husband and a wife, because Jesus is saying that whoever wants to be great should do what? Should be like a child. Yes. So he's talking of servant leadership. Yes. So that a person who is the highest should be the one serving everyone. And that is why John is look at John. John is not going even to the people. John is going away from the people and continuing to preach. Then people are going to where John is. Yeah. He's not welcoming people. Oh, why don't you come? Please have a cup of tea. Welcome next Sunday. He's going to the desert. People are going there. What was his strength? He was very much submitted. He says, mimi nipungue, yeye afanye nini? Aongezeke. While that is happening, Christ is calling, Jesus is saying that of among the people ambao wamezaliwa, John is the greatest. Lakini anamalizia kwa kusema, the least in this kingdom shall become greater than John. So, a person who instills fear, Cynthia, that is a red flag. A person who is using violence. Leadership is not about that. If people fear you, the next thing they do, they hate you. There's also a parable that Jesus gave. I think I would be able to quote it well. He says there is a person who went far away, a king who went far away. And that is nothing to do with, that is not God. That is just a parallel. That a person went away and the people hated him. Yeah. And they did not want him to be king over them. I think he should have been very brutal. So when people fear, the next thing they do, even in a family, when a father now starts becoming overly what? Overly military, and the next thing you see is rebellion. They want nothing to do with that kind of a person. It's such a heartbreaking thing. Yes, because those are not the intention, but it happens.
Cynthia, now that you're on the dating site, do you think there are some misconceptions that you've had and that has left you wondering, is this submission? Is this not submission? What is it? Have you seen or heard misconception concerning submission?
Yeah, I've had misconceptions. You hear the husband saying that my word is the final. Yes, his word is the final, or whatever he says is what should be done. So you are left wondering, what if that decision, because if we are living together, just like Pastor said, that the foundation matters, and also it has to come not in the direction of fear. So if we are partners in this marriage, he should ask me, what do you think? So that is what I think of submission.
You think it's a misconception that my word is final?
Yes. And the way he said that the husband can go sell a family home.
Okay.
Yet we live in this house. He should run it with me as well, the person living with him in this house. What do I think about us selling this house? If he has a reason why he's selling this house, I will follow him and say, yes, let us sell and do this. We can go and rent a smaller house. That one is understandable. So I think where control, that is control actually.
Okay.
Yes, for me it's control. And I won't be comfortable. I want be comfortable when I feel I'm being controlled.
Correct.
Yes.
Nobody is, like Percy has told us, nobody is comfortable with control.
Yes. So also, another misconception is that submission is total obedience.
Okay.
Total obedience is in that watoto lazima wasomee Kings na ni Kings. Still hata niuliza, what do you think about Kings? Them going to Kings primary. Yes.
Percy. We'll take a break and come back and unpack exactly. Do I need to tell my husband? Does my husband need to come and ask me of anything? But we shall see you shortly after the break.
Truth TV, empowering you.
Welcome to King's Academy of Deliverance Church Nakuru, where dreams take root and young minds flourish. We are more than a school. We're a nurturing community that believes in every child's potential. At King's Academy, we proudly offer the competence-based curriculum. We empower our students to think critically, solve problems, and embrace creativity. Our holistic approach combines academics, character development, and real-world skills. Join us on this journey of growth. Enroll your child today. Call 0724 554 819 or 0725 498 112 for more information. King's Academy, instructed to influence.
Truth TV, empowering you.
Thank you and welcome back. Now, before we went for the break, we were really talking about control and all that it entails in the marriage and the submission setup. Pasi, in your own opinion, do you think submission means silence?
No.
Okay. Cynthia
Should I
asks,
explain?
Cynthia asks, like it is a yes or no question. Cynthia was saying, she was giving the scenario whereby kuna mtoto na unataka ende huku, the misconceptions that she was talking about. Kuna mtoto na unataka ende huku, and it's a final. My word is a final one.
Yes.
Now, where does it now come in? Where I can speak, since you've told us it doesn't mean silence.
Yeah, maybe we could go back to what causes sometimes for people to be silent, or that they do not value their opinion. Sometimes people are unequally yoked.
Okay.
You know, this is a believer, this is not a believer. So their values could be very different. The other thing that should not count, but sometimes it counts, maybe the thinking, the exposure. Why there's nothing wrong kwa daktari kuoa msichana ambaye alikuwa anawafanyia kazi pale na amemuoa. Sometimes inaweza leta huyu anapofikiria hivi, the other one reasoning yake could bring, not that they cannot live together.
Yeah.
They can live together, they can be a successful marriage. But again, they have a lot of hurdles to overcome. And that is why maybe a husband will, or a wife will think, my studying, my exposure, my experiences are telling me that we should solve this problem this way. The man, na shule kidogo walikuwa parallel. They never met. Na ama masomo haikumpenda, alipenda masomo lakini masomo there was not a mutual
relationship
agreement. Brain yake na masomo haziko homogeneous. So you may realize that those two people reasoning, not that they cannot, they can and they should, but they need to work. There is work to be done. So maybe backgrounds za watu tofauti. This one was brought up in a very well-up place. The other one was a humble background. And now when it comes maybe to even making decisions that could spend, this one is talking so high. This one is talking meager or something. Sometimes reasoning will bring problems. Again, not that they cannot live together, not that they cannot make a good home, but they have a lot of work to do. So sometimes, hapo ndio silence inaingia. You do your thing, just decide what you want, which is not healthy. No matter the backgrounds, no matter the differences, people should agree. Yes. Also age could be something. The wife could be an elder sister to the man. So leadership coming from the other side could be, maybe a difference of 15 years. That could be a challenge, because it's like the wife will be trying to bring up this young man, and they're supposed to be husband and wife. Now, this is not a laughing matter; is a serious thing. But
totally,
so totally. Not that they cannot not that they cannot live together, but submission can be quite a challenge. So they have a lot of work. They have a lot of work to do.
You can have more strengths, but that can be a weakness.
A strong weakness.
And maybe you can talk more about submission and age. I've heard you
Does it really
about
count? Should it really count? Because I understand we've been told by the Bible as our guiding manual. We've been told that wives, submit to your husband.
Yeah.
So does age really matter?
No, it's not about age. It's just choosing. This thing is choosing.
Yeah.
I choose I choose to submit.
It's the willingly.
This husband is not perfect. They are not perfect at all. But I choose to submit so that we may be fruitful in everything. Yes. I choose to love even when I feel at times this is not possible. It is a choice. It's a decision of that one decides to make. So submission is a decision and is a choice that you choose to do it and agree with the word. Just like any other command in the Bible, you have a choice. You have a choice, and it dates back to the Garden of Eden. Yeah, we have a choice. You can eat of any other fruit around there.
Correct.
Only this one. We have a choice, but many times do we do it? And even in submission, we are the wife, just like Eve may be enticed by strength, by wisdom out there. You be wiser. If you don't submit, you'll be wiser. If you don't submit, you'll be richer. If you don't submit, if you fend for yourself, it's the same thing that happened in the garden. Yeah, I will not submit. I will try it out. I will test the boundaries. I will cross over. Same thing.
Same.
Yeah.
Prince, what does the role of communication do to submission?
Communication. I don't think we are overruling communication anytime soon. But I don't think it's really communication. I think it's also understanding. Because communicating, we are talking. Unanisikia 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. Unasikia chenye nasema na nasikia chenye unasema, which we have sorted. I think now it is the understanding bit, Ukinyamaza, what are you saying? Normally unakuwa ukimaanisha nini ukinyamaza? When you repeat something once and twice and thrice, what are you, there's that part of what are you really saying, which I think is something that these two people should strive to get from each other, which I think, as Mchungaji alluded, I believe it's something that you unravel every single time. And I think pia emotions ni different. Kuna seasons tofauti. Kuna wakati akisema hii maybe anamaanisha hivi, kuna wakati akisema hivi anamaanisha hii kitu ingine, and maybe that's the cry that most people will have. Mi sielewi mume wangu, ama mimi sielewi my wife. So I think it's the place of understanding that one needs to understand the needs of the other partner, because mtu anaweza shinda akisema over and over, but I may say something and then you interpret it wrongly. So if I am not also is it humble enough to this is what I mean when I say 1, 2, 3, this is what I mean when I say 1, 2, 3. Otherwise I may be going back to trauma response on how I was raised. So I think understanding for me is key when it comes to submission. Communicate your needs to your husband. Communicate your needs to your wife. Let them understand where you are coming from. And Cindy is also saying there is also the place of those questions which I mentioned. Someone can feel insecure. So mtu unaweza sema kitu ikuwe met na maswali mawili matatu, and I don't think it's wrong to respond so that they understand where you are really coming from. Yeah. So I think it's really key.
And I think communication also removes so much suspicion.
Yeah. Because
suspicion is also, why will a person choose not to submit? Because they are fearing, huyu mtu anaweza niacha, huyu mtu anaweza nicheza, huyu mtu anaweza enda huko nje. I think suspicion is also something. But when, as Brains is talking about communication, it is very, very important. And let me just ask, to your work kidogo, niulize Cynthia, are young people so much afraid of marriage these days, and possibly why? Because even from the questions, it's like fearing this, fearing that, have we been a good example of the generation ahead? What has brought too much fear into the young people? Like, are they excited? In one word, are they excited to get married, or are they not?
I think it starts from home. The fear begins from home. When I see something good, I will want to emulate it. And also when I see something good happening around me, I'd like to embrace it. But when I see more of negativity than the positivity, then it will drive me to the direction of fear. So my generation we may see that are afraid of marriage because of the things they see. I think those who have good marriages are not loud enough like the people who have bad marriages. The people who have bad marriages are very loud. So that is where the problem is. The people with good marriages, Christ-like marriages, they tend to cheza chini ya maji. They don't want to display it, which makes the people with the bad marriages to make the loudest noise. And that is what now we see. So we don't see the good, we see more of the bad than the good. Yet the good exists, but it is not magnified well.
Don't you think someone is scared of being worshipped? Like, the Bible has already told me and cautioned me not to brag, right? But now I'm here doing well. I don't dispute the fact that marriages and relationships in general, we will have conflicts. Hakuna hata mtu mwenye anaweza tembea hivi aniambie they don't step on the two when they're leading their lives, right? So the same with marriage. Don't you think the reason that most people are also scared of talking about how their marriage is doing? It's because I also am scared of you worshipping this particular thing that we've let you. Because hatutakuonyesha wakati tuko na mashida. Tutakuonyesha our picture perfect. We will show you holding hands. But kwa bedroom jana kuna kitu tuliambiana enye ilibidi turudi kwa magoti. Don't you think pia there is the worship aspect that is hindering these quotes and quotes good marriages from being spoken?
I think it comes with a balance.
Okay.
So when you expose me to a good thing, it will have its weaknesses. So when you are telling me the good, you will also caution me that, but know that we are human and we are not perfect. So I will walk knowing I love the marriage of Pastor Gabriel, how they treat each other, how they relate with the children. But I know at the end of the day, there are things obviously they don't agree on, which I know this is how they treat it. And it's upon them to now come out and tell us, we have our times of disagreements, and this is how we handle it. But you know, they are quiet about it. Or the church does not create a platform of those with good marriages coming out and speaking boldly, telling us this is what has worked for us. This is what we are doing. And you can learn from us because we have walked the journey. But walk this journey knowing that you will face the challenges, and the challenges are 1, 2, 3. My
question to the viewers will be, utapatikana ukiitwa. Tukikuita, ukuje kwa the good marriages talk, utapatikana. Back to submission, Pasi. What's one thing you'll talk to that young person before Cynthia tells us what's the one question she would like to be answered today concerning submission? What's the one thing you'd like to tell the young people, that young person looking into the marriage setup concerning submission?
That is, there shouldn't be suspicion, because I think the main thing is suspicion. I'm afraid to submit and then my life ikuwe swept away. Therefore, due diligence should be made, because marriage is a serious thing. Therefore, shouldn't be entered into casually. Get to know that kind of a person, the young man, the young lady. Get to know them. You may not know everything about them, but there are red flags that you'll have seen along the way. And there are good ladies. There are good men out there. Hawajaisha, wako wengi. It's only that, like Cynthia is saying, that those that have failed are so loud. And those that are talking about those people that have failed are also very vocal and very loud. Yeah. So that it makes the working marriages are no longer there. But they are there. Are they easy? No. But they are working. They're working. They are still enjoyable. Because in this life, show me something that is so good that no effort was made. For us to be in this place and very comfortable in this area, it cost somebody some money, some effort, some skill, some time, some labor. So it is even in the process of working through the marriage that makes it even sweeter. Yeah, it's not the end product. It's the progress of knowing. For instance, if a person came and started giving a motivational talk and said that I came to this town 10 years ago and now I own that building and that one and that one. And when I came, I didn't have anything apart from only 1 billion shillings. How motivational is that person? That kind of a person is not interesting. That kind of a person is not motivating anybody. But the same scenario. A person comes and say, when I came here, I had debts. My home was almost, falling apart. But I started doing this and that and that. And I was so diligent. Now, when you look at this company, this is my company. I have employed 500 people. And I thank God it's working. That is motivation. Why? Because there is process. There is pain that has been overcome. There are hardships that have been overcome. So, a good marriage is not the painless marriage. It is the working marriage. And work is every day. It makes it even sweeter.
And it is
yes.
in progress.
And in progress, yes.
Yeah. Brains, do you think the social media has hurt or helped in the understanding of submission?
Social media, Instagram, and the likes, TikTok, and on it were there were couples, influential couples and all that. Out wako kazi, number one. And I think that's something we need to understand. We're talking about unscripted marriage. Now it is a scripted marriage. This is what we will say, this is what we will do. And once the cameras are off, who knows what happens behind the scenes, quite literally. So I think social media has played a role in the anxiety and the tension that exists in marriages. It's like a dog trying to chase its tail. So you want to attain something yenye hata wenyewe hawana possibly, and not to banish it in any way. But I think there could be more harm than good as far as wanting to race towards achieving the social media kind of a marriage. I think it can harm. As Pasi alianza kwa kusema, some of the reasons why the authenticity is lacking in marriages of today ni hii scrolling behind the phone. We met online, we established it online, and we are meeting 8 months later. Then who you are interacting with in less than 15 minutes is different from someone you interacted with on, maybe hata alieka status ya kudownload. So I think let's go back to the authenticity of it. Let's seek to spend more time together with the bounds that of course exist, and let our manual be the word of God. let our manual be and remain the word of God. It is the solid foundation. Otherwise, if we choose to go the social media way, if today my wife and I decided to go social media way, then we will not project everything. We will project what we want people to see, and what we don't want people to see, we will tutaitoa nje. So huyu mtu akiingia, then zile zenye hatutaki watu waone apatane nazo, watasema tuliwadanganya. And I think that's where the tension will be from.
Correct. Cynthia, one thing you like to ask for yourself, and also maybe something that you like to demystify in the chats.
I have 2 questions for Percy. How can submission affect my calling?
Interesting. Sorry?
Can submission affect my calling?
Like if you're a pastor.
For example,
called to be a pastor.
Not a
I'm
pastor.
giving that as a scenario.
Yes. For example, I'm called, even in the marketplace. There are things I'm supposed to do. This is a calling that I've received from God. And maybe I'm called to the nations. I'm called to do great things for the kingdom. But now there is this, my husband, who is not a nation person.
This way person is local.
How will I handle that?
So your question is, can submission affect
my calling? Because he talked of foundation. Yes, we began well. We went through the counseling. We were brought up in church. We were dead in church. But along the way, there are people who also find their calling after marriage. Mm-hmm. There are people who, and I've seen that. So what if my calling by that time, right now I may be serving as a choir member, but maybe that's my assignment, not my real calling. Mm-hmm. Then I get married now, I should be pursuing my calling. My calling entails going to the nations. My husband is a very local man. He doesn't have interest in traveling and everything. How will I handle?
Let the Reverend take over.
As mchungaji, ndio wrap up. And maybe you can talk about what does it mean, the marriage or the home being your first ministry. How does that perhaps reconcile to what Cynthia is asking?
That's loaded.
That's a question in a question. Take over.
Yeah, so I would say that people grow together.
Yeah.
People should not grow apart. The other thing is that ianze tu pale. What are my dreams? How many children do we really are asking from God? Atupatie watoto wangapi? That could change. You could go ahead and you decide we wanted 3, but taxation thing, let's do 2. You could also say, let's go for 3. We talked of 2. It could change, but there should be an agreement right from the beginning. These are my dreams. This is my vision. It should start early. The other thing, you should also grow together so that should any changes come, you should marry a friend also. You should not marry a solid person so that they whatever they have talked about, it's like in home, one is a corporal and the other one is a house girl. Whatever I say goes. There should be people that are also agreeing, where are we going in life? Friends also. Because love covers a multitude of sin. So even before sin comes, I'm able to see, okay, let me agree on this. Let's do this. A friend who can be able to choose. And also, again, those drastic, very, very drastic, just like we have talked about the man selling the house and just making a turnaround all of a sudden. There should be also considerations. Because if you have lived together for, say, 5 years, and now you want to go to US to preach, to sing, to make a tour. How about the children? How about your home? There should also be that consideration. And I think also there is the empowerment. There's something that Brains had touched about empowerment. If I'm so much empowered and I'm strong-headed, and sometimes doesn't work in marriage. That can work elsewhere. In the place of work, give direction, people should follow without questions. But the empowerment that we received from God, because a husband is empowered, to give counsel, to protect, to provide, to give priestly leadership. Why? For the good of the family. The wife is empowered already. Does not need more empowerment. She's already empowered. John here, as a husband, cannot be able to do what the wife is doing or will do. Or if you tell him to carry some 3 kilograms ndani ya tumbo yake, and he gets nausea, askie sickling, miguu inafura, mara nini, John does not have that strength, not even for 9 minutes.
Okay, for us.
And now we are talking about 9 months. That is a strength. Nurturing a human being. That patience, that is a strength. Nurturing a human being. Nursing them, suckling. Aanze kutembea. That is a strength that men don't have at all. So, those are strengths. And they're the strength that should be submitted. The man also should have the strength that serve the home. Have I answered everything, or?
But I think also there's the place of I think there's also the place of counsel, having counsel in people who are speaking into your marriage, the servants of God, or that mentor couple that you have, who of course are of the same faith. Perhaps I think it will also help. Sometimes kila mtu kichwa iko huku, so having a people to also consolidate you back and help you navigate through those questions of, okay, you're going, have you considered this, have you considered this, have you considered this. I think it also recalibrates one's way of thinking, which is something I've noticed most people in dating, and they don't hawataki hiyo to be held accountable. So wacha tufanye vile si tunataka, tutaki usoro, which I think plays a huge role in the making or the breaking of the union. So I think also godly counsel might also assist.
Correct. We've really digressed, and we've talked in measure and in kwa mapana na marefu in understanding what submission is. Cynthia, I really hope and pray that the Almighty will guide you in choosing the best partner, because as Percy has told us, submission should not be a bulldozing kind of thing. You should find a friend in your husband, and he should find a friend in you. Brains at 10 months, the grace is sufficient. Percy 35, but that said and done, I really hope that whatever we've spoken today has impacted something in you. If you're looking into marriage, go with the wisdom of what it entails and how it needs to be ran around. It has been me, Wairimu Gashoya, and until next time, good night.
Truth TV, empowering you.